What's up, F1 fans? Welcome back to the channel. Barcelona testing just wrapped up yesterday, and wow, we've got some massive updates about Red Bull Racing. If you're as hyped as I am about the 2026 season, buckle up because we're diving deep into everything that went down during those 5 crucial days of testing, Max Verstappen's performance, and the monumental changes coming to Formula One. This isn't just another season, this is a complete reset, and Red Bull just proved they might have pulled off the impossible. So hit that subscribe button, smash that like, and let's get into it. First things first, Red Bull just dropped their 2026 livery, and it's absolutely stunning. On January 15th at Ford's headquarters in Detroit, they unveiled the RB22 with a throwback blue livery that pays homage to their 2005 debut season. But here's what makes it special. They've ditched the matte finish we've loved for years and brought back that glossy, eye-catching shine from their early days. Max himself couldn't contain his excitement, saying the blue is his favorite color and he's been asking for this change for a while. The livery features the iconic Red Bull logo with white outlines and incorporates Ford's bright blue throughout. It's fresh, it's bold, and it's a statement that Red Bull is entering a completely new era. Here's where things get absolutely wild. The 5-day Barcelona shakedown just finished yesterday, January 30th, and Red Bull didn't just survive, they absolutely crushed it. Remember, this is their first ever engine built from scratch in Milton Keynes. Everyone expected them to struggle, to have reliability issues, to maybe complete a few dozen laps and call it a learning experience. Instead, Red Bull and Racing Bulls combined completed 623 laps with the new DM01 power units. 623 laps! To put that in perspective, that's more than many established manufacturers managed. Even George Russell from Mercedes was impressed, saying, "The Red Bull power unit has completed a lot of laps, which, given that it's their first engine they've built, means they've clearly done a good job." Day 1 set the tone perfectly. Isack Hadjar, Max's new teammate, went out and topped the timing sheets with a 1-minute 18.152, completing 107 laps in his very first day with the team. That's over 2 race distances. The car ran smoothly, the engine didn't blow up, and Red Bull was suddenly looking like they knew exactly what they were doing. But then came day 2, and things got spicy. Max took over in the morning during wet conditions, managing about 25 laps before the rain really came down. He posted a time of 1-minute 19.578, which was actually slower than Hadjar's day 1 effort, but conditions were completely different. Then in the afternoon, disaster struck. Hajar went out again and crashed into the wall at the final corner, damaging the RB22 significantly enough that Red Bull had to fly spare parts from Milton Keynes to Spain overnight. This could have derailed everything, but here's where Red Bull's depth showed. They didn't run on day 3, used that time to rebuild the car properly, and came back on day 5 with Max absolutely flying. Verstappen completed 118 laps on Friday, racking up crucial mileage and data. His feedback? Overall, pretty decent. The first morning I didn't get to do too many laps with the weather, but today was good. I did a lot of laps, we learned a lot. Still a lot of things that we want to look into and do better, but that's normal, I guess. In general, for us, with the new engine, to do the amount of laps that we did is very nice, and it's a good start for us. That measured, calm response is pure Max, never getting too high or too low. But make no mistake, 623 combined laps for a brand new engine manufacturer is absolutely remarkable. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, or should I say the engine in the garage. For the first time in Red Bull's 21-year Formula One history, they're manufacturing their own power unit. This isn't a minor upgrade or a tweak to an existing engine. Red Bull Ford Powertrains built this beast from the ground up in Milton Keynes, with crucial support from American automotive giant Ford. The engine is called the DM01, named after Red Bull founder Dietrich Mateschitz, who championed this ambitious project before his passing. Since February 2023, over 100 Ford engineers have been working alongside Red Bull's Powertrains division, bringing expertise in hybrid systems, battery technology, combustion engines, and control software. But here's the reality. Laurent Mekies, Red Bull's team principal, has been brutally honest about the challenge. He's called it monumental and admitted they've started to design and build these engines in what was a field. They're competing against manufacturers like Mercedes, Ferrari, and Honda, who have decades of experience.
Mickey's even said fans need to bear with us a little bit because matching established manufacturers right out of the gate might be asking too much. Despite all this uncertainty, Max Verstappen remains his typically composed self. His performance during Barcelona testing showed exactly why he's a four-time world champion. Even in the challenging wet conditions on day 2 and then coming back after Hajar's crash on day 5, Max put in the work without drama. When asked about the new engine and regulations, he said, "We remain calm, we're very focused. It's not going to be that straightforward and easy for everyone with these rules, but we're just looking forward to getting out on track now." After his phenomenal finish to the 2025 season, winning 6 of the last 9 races and narrowly missing out on a 5th consecutive championship to Lando Norris by just 2 points, Verstappen knows how to handle pressure. At just 28 years old, he's entering his 12th F1 season and his 11th campaign with Red Bull. Following Friday's running in Barcelona, Verstappen was characteristically honest. Still quite a bit of work to do on the new power unit, but his focus remains laser sharp. He understands this is a development race, and Red Bull's trajectory throughout the season will be crucial. The fact that he can already complete 118 laps in a day with a brand new engine speaks volumes about Red Bull's preparation. Max has a new partner for 2026, 21-year-old French sensation Isack Hadjar. After an impressive rookie season with Racing Bulls, with a podium finish at Zandvoort and 10-point scoring finishes, Hajar earned his promotion to the senior team. Hajar is the 6th teammate Max has had in 8 seasons, following Sergio Perez, Yuki Tsunoda, Liam Lawson, and others. Being Max's teammate has historically been called the worst job in F1 by Perez himself, but Hajar seems ready for the challenge. Barcelona testing showed both his potential and the learning curve ahead. On day 1, Hajar absolutely smashed it, topping the timing sheets with a 1-minute 18.152 and completing 107 laps in his very first day with the team. That's an incredible statement for your first day with Red Bull. The confidence, the pace, the consistency, it was all there. Then came day 2. In wet conditions, Hajar spun the RB22 into the wall at the final corner, causing enough damage that Red Bull had to skip day 3 entirely to repair the car and fly in spare parts from the UK. It was a costly mistake, but here's the thing. Every young driver makes mistakes, especially in tricky conditions with a brand new car. What matters is how you respond. Hajar has described the opportunity as unreal and said he feels ready after learning so much during his year with Racing Bulls. Mickey's praised Hajar's maturity and raw speed, saying he believes the young Frenchman can thrive alongside Max and produce the magic on track. Day 1 showed his potential. Day 2 showed his humanity. The real test comes in Australia. The 2026 season brings the biggest technical regulation changes in Formula One history. Cars will be smaller, lighter, and feature active aerodynamics where wing configurations change on track. DRS is being replaced by overtake mode, and there's 3 times as much electric power in the new hybrid systems. For Red Bull, this means starting from scratch in multiple areas. Not only are they learning to build and optimize a brand new engine, but they're also adapting to radically different chassis regulations. But here's what Barcelona taught us. Red Bull isn't alone in facing challenges. Let's talk about the competition. Mercedes came out swinging. They completed 500 laps across 3 days, more than any other team. Kimi Antonelli was the first driver on track when the pit lane opened Monday morning, and they never looked back. Lewis Hamilton set the fastest time of the entire week on Friday with a 1-minute 16.348. Mercedes looks absolutely terrifying. Ferrari also impressed with 440 laps completed and Hamilton's teammate Leclerc putting in consistent running. The Scuderia delayed their start to avoid the rain, then made up for lost time with marathon sessions. McLaren, the defending champions, had some fuel system issues on day 4 that limited Oscar Piastri, but they still managed decent mileage. However, they don't look as dominant as they did in 2025. Then there's Aston Martin, the team with Adrian Newey's first design for them. They only managed 65 laps total, the fewest of any team that actually showed up. They ran at lower engine modes throughout Friday, and sources suggest Honda's late re-entry in the F1 has caused integration headaches. Willens? They didn't even make it to Barcelona. They're promising to be ready for Bahrain testing in 2 weeks, but that's a concerning sign. What this means? Red Bull might have actually nailed their engine reliability better than Honda did with Aston Martin, and certainly better than the brand new Audi and Cadillac programs. That's stunning. The pressure is immense. Verstappen has been open about wanting a competitive car, and Red Bull needs to show him enough progress throughout 2026 to keep him committed long-term. Mickey's acknowledged this, saying, "Max takes a risk with us, and the team needs to demonstrate a strong enough development trajectory to maintain his confidence." Here's what Barcelona revealed. What everyone thought would be Red Bull's Achilles heel, their brand new engine, might actually be one of their strengths. According to ESPN's analysis, the early signs are exceedingly promising for Red Bull. They managed 623 laps combined between the two teams, with sources describing it as going from potential weakness to potential strength. Think about that for a second. A team that's never built an engine before, competing against Mercedes with decades of experience, Ferrari with their illustrious history, and Honda who've been doing this forever, and Red Bull's engine ran more reliably than Honda's integration with Aston Martin. That's borderline miraculous. The car itself also caught eyes.
Observers noted the shrink-wrapped look of the RB22's side pods, suggesting Red Bull's aerodynamicists have taken full advantage of working with their in-house engine department to maximize packaging. Without the constraints of accommodating someone else's power unit, they've been able to design exactly what they wanted. But let's be realistic about performance. No one was pushing for ultimate lap times in Barcelona. It was too cold, teams were running different programs, and reliability was the priority. Mercedes looks ominous, Ferrari looks strong, Red Bull looks surprisingly ready. Is the DM01 the fastest engine on the grid? Probably not yet, but is it an embarrassment? Absolutely not. Is it reliable enough to race? The 623 laps say yes. Can Red Bull develop it quickly? That's the billion-dollar question. Official preseason testing runs in Bahrain from February 11th through 13th and 18th through 20th, giving teams crucial track time before the season opener in Australia on March 6th through 8th. Red Bull chose not to do additional shakedown running before Barcelona, meaning every session counts. McLaren enters as defending champions, Ferrari has Lewis Hamilton in their lineup, and new teams like Cadillac are joining the grid. The 2026 season has all the ingredients for absolute chaos, and Red Bull is right in the thick of it. So, there you have it. Red Bull Racing just completed their most critical test in team history, and they didn't just survive Barcelona, they thrived. A new engine that was supposed to be their weakness completed 623 laps and ran more reliably than some established manufacturers. Max Verstappen put in consistent professional work. Isack Hadjar showed flashes of brilliance mixed with learning moments. And the competition? Mercedes looks scary fast, but Red Bull proved they belong in the conversation. The shakedown is over. The data's been collected. Now comes the real test. 2 3-day sessions in Bahrain starting February 11th, where teams will actually start pushing for performance. Then it's off to Melbourne for the Australian Grand Prix on March 6th through 8th, where we'll find out if Red Bull's gamble has paid off. Will they compete from day one, or will 2026 be a learning year? Based on what we saw in Barcelona, I'm betting on Red Bull being a lot more competitive than anyone expected. They've defied the doubters before, and they might just do it again. What do you think? Did Barcelona change your expectations for Red Bull in 2026? Are you more confident or more worried after seeing the testing results? Drop your predictions in the comments below, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Let's go racing!